Hello viewers, welcome back. We are now looking at headings and width. So want to look at those few things. Now, as we mentioned, we really want these headings. These ones of assumptions, income statement, and others. We really want those headings to look a bit unique. So those headings of assumptions and income statement, we really want them to stand out because we want the reader to be able to clearly state and see that this is the assumption section and down below is the income statement section, so that we can see, the reader can actually see that this is standing out, or it is verbally fine for me to say this is the assumption section and this is the income statement section. So that's what we want to look at, and the only way we can do that is by making some formatting to those different headings. So I'm just going to focus on this assumption alone. Then we shall do a copy and paste. We shall see how to do that in the course, to also turn that income statement to look the same as the assumption. So what we are going to start with, we are going to start by making this assumption bold by using, so we are going to make sure that it is bold, so that it's going to help us a little bit change the look of that heading. So Control B to have that in bold. Then, so that Control B gets that bold done, and it's really quick. So now the other thing that we can do here, just in this same section, we can also do the same by putting in some of our corporate colors. I told you these colors, I've selected them depending on what I want, but you can select depending on your corporate color. If it is a company, you select your company colors. But me, I prefer, I've told you, since I'm a Chelsea fan, I love blue color. So most of the time you're going to see me using blue and some different colors. Of course, you can't use blue alone, but at least blue is a fine color for me because of the reasons I've given you, and it also stands out. So what we are going to do, we are going to put in some corporate colors. So if we change the font color here for that assumption section, or for that assumption heading, if we change it from black to something different, then we are going to have something standing out. So let's go into that same cell of assumption. So if you want to change something on that section, you have to be within that cell. That's why we first get into the cell. So we put our cursor into the assumption section. And now what we want to do, we want to use the keyboard shortcut by placing the Alt key, because we want to put in a font size, but we don't want a font color, but we don't want to use the mouse. So we know that the font color, they are within the home section of the ribbon. So what we are going to do, we've placed the Alt key, so we are going to go to home section. So we press H for home, and then we can see right up here that for font color is up here, but we are seeing that font color, it has the letter FC, so we press FC. So after tapping that FC, we are seeing that now we are seeing that color palette. That color palette comes up. So one little pro tip here, remember we already input that corporate code blue. So we also want to maintain in blue. It is code blue code compliant blue, which we input earlier on. So we put in its codes. That's why you are seeing we are seeing this blue coming up down here. In this recent, you are seeing it is coming down at the bottom here. And if you use the down arrow, we can get into that recent color section. So we use the down arrow, we are moving. So we are within that recent colors. So since we had already put in that color, the color comes automatic. So we hit the enter key. And now we are seeing we've changed that to a blue. So, but that only comes if at all you have used it, because it brings those recent things you've used. So that's why we've been able not to put in those codes again. So that has been done. So we should probably increase also the font size, because if we leave it in that area, it is equivalent to these other sections or these other words that we are having down below. But if we increase the font size a little bit, just to make this a bit more pronounced, so we need to change the font size. We are still in the same section. We haven't moved our cursor. So what we are going to do, we are going to say Alt, because we know the font size is within the home section of the ribbon. So we press Alt, H for home, and now we can look at the font size. Where the font size are, we are seeing the font size are on FS. Where these font size, this is where the font sizes are. And we are seeing that we have letter FS. So right up there, we are seeing that we have FS for font size. So we place FS. And you're seeing we have highlighted that box for the font size. So now we are going to adjust. Instead of having, because we are having 10, the font size, let's now bump that up maybe to 14 or 15 plus 15. Let's just maintain at 14. And then we hit enter. Let's just say 14 or 15. Let's just use 14. And then we hit enter, just like that. You are seeing that it has increased a little bit, and it's now standing out. It's now looking something a bit, it's looking a bit different. So now it feels like we may need to do a little bit more to make this section really stand out, because with these headings, we need them to be visible as we can, because those are the things that the person or the person looking at your financial model is going to first look at. That this section I'm in is for the assumptions, the other section is income statement, the other one is balance sheet, the other one is cash flow. That's how he's going to. So we need to make sure that those things actually stand out. So we need to do a little more adjustment to that same section. So what we are going to do, we are also going to put in a fill color. In other words, we are going to change the background color of this same cell. We can maybe highlight the whole of it. We change the background color for all of it. So now, if you want to put in a fill color or a background color, what we are going to, we need to know that the background color or the fill color is within the home section of the ribbon. So we press the Alt key, home for H for home, and then we can now look at the section for the fill color. We can then see that we have another H here for fill color. Here we have the letter H. So what we are going to do, we tap the H again for fill color, and when you tap that H again, you will see that the color palette comes up. And what we are going to do is we are going to define another new color, because we don't want to use the same color that like the one we've been using. So we need to define another new color. So if we need to define another new color, we have to go for more. We are seeing on more colors, we have M. So you tap M for more colors. You tap M for more colors. And you are seeing we are bringing the same section. And we are going to customize our color that we need. So it's not also going to be a little bit different from the colors we've been using. It's going to be blue, but the blue which is a bit lighter. That if you put it there, it changes something, but it's not all that we've changed something, big, but at least we make some changes to make things stand out. So we are now in the custom section here. This is the custom section here. This is standard, but now we want the custom because we want to put in those RGB codes. So what we are going to do, we are going now to use the tab key. We hit the tab key to go into that section. We are now in the color model. So we tap the tab key again to go into that red section. So for red, we are going to type in 217. We put in 217, then we hit the tab key again. Then we go to the other one. For green, we are going to use 229. We hit the tab key again. For blue, we are now going to use, we are going to go for 247. These are just color codes. If you know the codes in there, you don't need to actually trace them from here, because if you trace them from there, you are not going to select the actual colors that you need. But you need to know, if you know the codes, you can actually be able to pick out those codes. So we are seeing the current color is this, but the new one is this lighter blue. So now we need to select OK, because that's the color that we want. So it's another good blue color that we prefer to use. Because I told you I'm a Chelsea fan, I prefer blue. So you may find some of these things I'm just using blue and other different colors. Of course, there are those that black, that are really known, but some of these colors you use your corporate colors. If you have a corporate color that you prefer, it's the one you go with. But here I prefer to use the blue colors. So now we are going to hit the enter key, and now it's done. If you remove that, you will see that it has changed a little bit. You can actually change only the background color for these, only the words here. But if you want to maintain it all the way, it's also fine. So now that's what we've just done. If you look at it now, you can see that at least it is something that is turning out to be something else. So we need now to go to what we need to do now. We need to think of the next step. The next step that we are going to do to this model. We need to think about it carefully. And now what we want is the same format for assumption down here for the income statement. We want these same formattings that we've done to this, because we want to maintain the consistency. These formattings that we've done for assumptions, we need them for also the income statement. Everything that we did on the assumption section or assumption heading, we need to do the same thing to the income statement so that they look similar. So now, how are we going to do that? You can repeat the whole process, or you be a professional and you don't repeat. If you don't repeat, then what are you going to do? What we are going to do, we are going to just copy and paste. So if you go up into this cell here for assumptions, and you just copy all these cells. If you copy, it means you have copied everything that is in that section. If now you come to this point here for income statement, and you do a regular paste down here to this income statement, then you will change, you will have this income statement removed, because what will be there will be the assumptions, because you copied it and pasted it. It is that is what we call the regular pasting. You copy same thing that is there and you paste it somewhere. But now, If you do that, it means you are going to change that assumption and you put it as, let me just show you something small. If I just come and copy, I copy Control C, and I come, I paste it here. This is what I'm talking about. Control V. If I just do a paste, that is a regular paste. You see, I've changed what was there to income statement, but I've maintained whatever has been there. That's what we don't want to do, because that is going to remove the word income statement, and we need to retype the word income statement. That's not what we need. So we undo, Control Z. We undo that thing. So now what are we going to do? So for us to avoid retyping that income statement again, we are going to use what we call a paste special. So let's go up into this cell again for assumption. Let's go back into this for assumption. Now we are going to use the keyboard. We are going to use now we are going to hold down the shift key. Shift, we click the shift key across. We've highlighted across with that control, with that shift plus the right arrow. So now what we are going to do, we are going to do a regular copy. That is Control C to copy. We are copying everything there. So now what we are going to do, we've highlighted that cell and we've copied. So now what we are going to do down in this cell, down here for the income statement, what we are going to do there, we can also highlight, shift, the right arrow. What we are going to do in that row, we are going to paste. But this time we are pasting special. We use the paste special, not the regular paste. So instead of us doing Control V for a regular paste, what we are going to do, we can press Alt plus ES. That does a paste special. Or we can go Control Alt V. Control Alt V. Control Alt V or Alt ES. It takes you to that paste special dialog box. Just like that, it brings up that dialog box, as you can see. So the Control plus Alt plus V works in the same way as someone using Alt plus ES for those that are using PC. So they work in the same way. Now that you are in that paste special dialog box, you want to use the down arrow to go here and just go and paste the formats. We use the down arrow, we move, and we want to paste only the formats. We don't want to paste the whole thing, but we want only the formats that we did. They are the ones that we want to paste. So when you have selected the formats, you can now hit the enter key. When you hit the enter key, the formats we had up there in the assumption section have been pasted. You are seeing it's now looking the same. This one looks the same like the way we are seeing these other ones. This one looks the same as this. So that's what we are talking about. We paste special. So again, this is a great technique, and effectively you can do a copy. And when you do a copy, it copies all the attributes of that cell. But then when we go down here to the income statement, we do a paste special, or we did a paste special, and it only pasted the formats which left the values that we found there, which was the income statement in place. So it is a perfect technique. So now there are a couple of other adjustment that would need to know for us, that we need to be aware of. And first of all, let's now do a tour with the mouse, because we've been using shortcuts. People may get confused. Let's try a little bit and we use the mouse. So the same way we did, because now here we are seeing that over here in the home section of the ribbon, under formats here, these are number formats. Under the formats, we have the ability to either adjust, sorry, the formats, not this, the formats, these cell formats. We have the ability from there to adjust the column width. We have now finished the headings. Now we are looking at the width of the different cells. Now we have the ability to have auto fit. We can auto fit the column width from here. We can auto fit the column row. We can auto fit the column width. So what I want us to do is I want us to take a look at how this is going to work, because we can auto fit, or we can be able to adjust the column width from this point. So that's the second thing I want us to do, or the next thing that we can look at as far as changing the headings and the width of the different cells within the financial model. So what I can promise you is that auto fit column width is something that you are going to make use of with financial analysis. That auto fit column width. From here, home section, we come to formats. This auto fit column width is something that we are going to use more often in financial analysis. And what it allows you to do is effectively, Excel can reduce the column width, or the width of these columns you are seeing, and it can do that perfectly, so that those numbers that we are going to insert there, they can actually fit without leaving any space. And how do we do that? The way we do that, let's go back to let's select one Excel sheet. Let's just select that. How we do that, we just select the number that we just want, and then we hit the Alt key, then H for home, and then we can head up over here and look at the formats. The formats here have O, so we press O for formats. That is O for formats. Then we can also see the different options. Now we have the auto column width. Auto fit column width is I, so we can hit I. When you go to I, when you hit I, you will see that it has reduced the column width. If maybe for you to recognize it well, let's first put in some numbers. Let's undo that and come here, we put in some numbers. Let's say they are those ones. We go to Alt, we have selected Alt H for home, and then O for column width. Then auto fit column width is I. So we go to I. So it has reduced that. It has been big, but it has now reduced it. That's the only way you can see it. Because it has been big, we can do the same for this. Let's undo that. It has gone back. Let's do the same for this number. Alt, H, O, then I. It has reduced the column width. So hope you have seen how it has auto-fitted the column width perfectly for those values. But now, the challenge is that column width has been the format, like the shortcut that we've used, we can't memorize it. Alt, H, O, I, it is too long for us to memorize. Alt plus H plus O plus I to auto-fit column width. Now, for our case, we want things to be a little bit more spaced out, and we want to be able to accommodate some large numbers, because now you are seeing the things have been squeezed together. We can't accommodate some big figures. If we are to include in the thousands, the figures will not fit there. So want it to be a bit bigger so that it can accommodate some larger numbers. So let's now adjust the column width again. So it is Alt, H for home, then O for format, and again right up here we can now see that we are going to hit, instead of hitting instead of hitting I, we are going to hit W for column width. W for column width. And this is going to allow us to put the column width in that section. In other words, we put in the column width we want. We are seeing the column width is 6.29, which is in those, which has been squeezed. So let's now change it to maybe 12 or 13 or 15, whichever you want. But me, I want to maintain it at 12. So let's put in 12 and then hit OK. When you do that, you see it is going back. It's taking us back to where we've been. In other words, we've seen how we can be able to adjust the column width. In fact, here is a little pro tip in Excel. If you want to repeat the last command, for example, adjustment of column width of 12, you can use the F4 tool, because the last command we performed was to adjust the column width to 12. So if you want to repeat that, you just tap the F4 key to repeat the last command. So what we can do, we can now highlight maybe across like this, and we just hit the F4 key, and you will see that it is going to take you, because here we've set everything that way. But if you press the F4 key, it's going to take you to that command that you last performed. So this model is already starting to look great. And I want you to remember how important formatting is. We have now got clear sections here for assumptions and the income statement, with a nicer header for those two. And we now know how to adjust the column width or autofill or auto-fit the column width. So let's jump ahead to the next video, and we are going to take a look at how we can adjust the number formats. We need to look at how we can adjust the number formats a little bit better to be able to be more professional. So let's see you in the next video.